have a shower and brush your teeth.
I feel personally attacked here, okay? Look, I was in a very rough hotel.
Hi everyone, this is Setup Alex. Welcome to the Real Gamerscore podcast. This week I am joined by Punchline's Matt.
Howdy.
And Kirby. Hi, I'm definitely here and this is definitely Kirby. Here at the Real Gamerscore podcast, we like to discuss all things Xbox, achievements and PAX. This week we talk about how not to run panels, Fortnite sucking and the importance of hygiene. But first, here's the song of the week. Neo just hit the wall. He never achieved them all. One completion a day. Wife's already hit the hay. His dreams went out the door when he turned 34. Only been on one main. What happened to his tag? He was gonna be a treasure. He was gonna be a star. He was gonna shake his ass on the hood of Stallion's car. Now his 360 has become the enemy. Looks at his gaming life. Nothing has been alright since Redemption and Stallion. Way before Chin Doctor there was Pluto and Spaceman and cursing on the 360. His brothers into hockey tell him that he's uncool cause he's still preoccupied with that gamer life.
Beautiful and pretty accurate.
Thanks a lot, Shadow, for sending that one in. I think Shadow had a bit of downtime in between PAX days because he wrote that out for me. So thank you for that, Shadow. And again, I guess probably bears reiterating, if you feel like you want to write a song as a listener, you can send it in to one of us and we will give you credit on the show and do the song if we can, if we can sing the songs, of course.
I mean, even if we can't sing the song, we'll probably still do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few that I start writing them and I'm like, yeah, this song doesn't work or this theme in this song doesn't work. Anyway, that was a good one. So we'll reiterate the Song of the Week competition. So if you know what that song is, you can send the title and artist as your answer to the Real Gamerscore account on the trueachievements.com website. So that's Real Gamerscore. It's all one word, but the S is a 5. So Real Gamer 5 core.
And just in case you didn't get it last week, the massively long Song of the Week was Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. It wasn't the entire album, but that's what I was aiming for.
I was doing a weed and feed in my backyard. Wow, that actually, I probably should clarify what that is. That's a weed killer and grass feed.
Okay.
Otherwise, in some other countries, a weed and feed might be something totally different. But yes, I was trying to kill the weeds in my backyard, and I pretty much did my whole backyard while you were singing. Not really, I'm exaggerating slightly, but I did a good portion of it. I'm like, oh boy, this is going. But you have a good singing voice, and you can tell that you really enjoy it. So,
well, I mean, as long as I enjoy it, that's the main thing. I don't really care about the listeners.
Oh, is it one of those weeks? Yeah, because last week you were like,
yeah.
get away, get in touch with me. This week it's get away from me.
Yeah.
All right, well, today, as you heard, it's just me and Neo. Chin is stuck in Melbourne somewhere. I don't think he's stuck. I think he's here by choice, but he can't join us. So we're here, just the two of us, the awesome duo. I don't know, I just made that up on the spot. Didn't really sound that good. So if you'd like to tell me how good that was, you can come join us in Discord. The link to do so is at discord.io/realgamerscore. We do remind every now and then, but like I keep saying, when I first started listening to podcasts, everyone was talking about Discord. And I was just like, what the hell is this? I don't even know. Discord is like an app where you chat. You can join different servers. Join the Real Gamerscore server first, obviously. And then you can join other ones. There's a server for pretty much everything. But you just download the Discord app either on your computer or on your mobile or both. And you can stay in touch with us and everywhere you want in Discord. We're all there. If you need some help playing some games or you just want to chat about this or that, come join us. So if you... Wait, where am I going? I'm going to the random to-do list. That's right, yes. Now, I listened to you guys talk about the random to-do list game last week, but I wasn't really paying attention because I know I can't win the random to-do list contest. So I don't actually remember what the game is.
The game is a Redeemer.
Redeemer. Okay.
Yes.
And so to enter into the competition, you need to be in the random to-do list, unlock one achievement, and answer the trivia question. It was a trivia question that I was like, what? Because Chin looked like he just absolutely butchered it.
Yeah, so the trivia question is, send in another game that has something addition at the end of it. So, for example, this wouldn't count, so it's not a definitive edition, it's Redeemer definitive edition, but something else edition. There are quite a few out there. There are some creative ones from THQ especially, just to give you a bit of a hint. So send some of those into the Real Gamerscore. Is it True Achievements?
Random to-do list.
Sorry,
True
random
Achievements.
True Achievements.
Yeah. So just get it sent in there and you'll get entered in for a code for Redeemer, is it?
Yes.
I've not really heard much about that game. It's a weapon in the Unreal Tournament games.
That's exactly what I thought of too, yeah.
It's a bazooka, massive bazooka. Hey, did you know, by the way, we're going to get onto PAX a little bit later, but did you know there's an Unreal Tournament 4 game out, apparently?
Out? Oh, I didn't realise is it in beta or is it like actually out?
I don't know, but they had a tournament for it. And I was like, hang on a minute, I didn't even know it was out yet. And they're apparently having a tournament for it. It was on PC.
Oh.
And having said that, I probably should have Googled something before bringing it up, but I didn't do that. So, anyway. All right, let's hit straight up into the news. We will get into the PAX talk a little bit later, though. But the biggest thing in the world right now is happening, Neo. Have you seen this?
I mean, I've seen not seeing it, if that's what you're referring to.
Yes. So anyone that listens to this show for a long time will know that we're not players of Fortnite. But I think that this is so impressive that for a couple of seasons now, I believe, the numbers of players and watchers of Fortnite have been dropping. Still regularly tops all the charts. But Epic have exploded the whole map into a black hole. Whatever you want to call it, Battle Royale Island or something. It's been sucked into a black hole. All their social media is gone, and it's just like a live stream or something of the black hole. And I think it's so impressive because people are prepared to sit there and watch a black hole. Watch nothing, literally nothing, in the hopes that something is going to happen. Like, it's super impressive that they still have that kind of reach, even if their numbers have been dropping for consecutive seasons.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. It is incredible. I mean, it's almost not surprising at this point, though. I mean, Fortnite it's so huge, and it seems like it's almost an evergreen property. Like, exactly, like you feel like the numbers drop, they do something, they bring people back, and they just keep it going and keep it going. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I think the build-up is going to be better than what they end up announcing for it, right? I think like everyone's going to get super hype about what it could be, all the possibilities, and then it'll just be something that's pretty, I think, at the end of the day. But it's definitely an interesting way to go about it. I think it was also funny how the Epic Store also accidentally went down at the same time, and people were trying to figure out if that was part of it or whether it was just the Epic Store being the Epic Store, and it turns out that it was actually just a really poorly timed error on their part that made it look like the entire store had gone into the black hole. But no, it's just Fortnite.
They're not that serious about it. Yeah, it's like I said, I really just wanted to bring it up because, like I said, not as fans of the game, it's remarkable how they can keep this hype train just running and running and running. It's crazy. What do you think is going to come out of the black hole? I mean, I think it's going to be a new map, but
yeah, it might be a new map or a reworked map or something along those lines. I mean, they have changed things on the map itself for a while. Whether it might be a fun new game mode, because I know they did some promotional tie-ins with like
they did the Avengers, didn't they?
Avengers, yeah, with the Infinity Gauntlet and that, and I think they did one for Infinity Blade and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, it might just be a weird little event that they end up doing, and it might not be a huge deal. But to turn off Fortnite completely, I mean, hey, so it might cut people free. Who knows?
And I can't play it, even though I really, really want to. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave that there. We'll probably be watching, not live. We'll watch the news and see what comes out of it. But one that does have a lot of relevance to us as Xbox fans, there's been some high-profile people leaving Xbox in the past week. So the first one will be a name that's familiar to many, Mike Ibarra, which actually I did not know how to say his name. I initially thought his name was Mikey.
Right, that's what you're saying. Yep, Mikey Barra. That's a very Australian
because that's the
name.
way people say it, yeah. Mikey Barra. And I'm like, okay. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, Mikey, eh?
Oh, Mikey. Yeah, Mikey Barra. Barramundi. Anyway, so he's left Microsoft's vice president behind Live, Mixer, and Game Pass. He's been there for 20 years. So I always think of Mikey Barra. I follow him on Twitter, and that's probably where I see him most. But I always think of him as someone who's seems genuinely about the fans. And like people would tweet things to him, and obviously he gets hundreds, maybe thousands of tweets a day and can't reply to them all. But he actually would take time to reply to some of them. And I thought, for someone who's as famous and important as Mikey Barra, that's really cool. Because I know if I asked him something and he replied to me, I'd be like, oh my god, Mikey Barra tweeted me. It would be pretty sick, I reckon. But he's leaving. So what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
I mean, Mikey Barra, he seems like he's also he's passionate about the fans, and he's really passionate about the technology as well, right? That was a big thing for him. So, I mean, it is a big loss for the company. It does sound like he's leaving on really good terms, though. I mean, he has been there 20 years. That's in this sort of industry and in this sort of time frame. That's a long. Yeah. I mean, like it might not be the thing he wants to be doing forever, right? And he has. I guess maybe he wasn't quite able to attack Phil Spencer and wear his skin to take on that next level that he needed to just step into the spot. But
Phil's the man. I love Phil too. He's so good. They've both been really good for Xbox. And if Phil Spencer all of a sudden comes out next week and is like, yeah, I'm leaving too, well, maybe Microsoft won't smash Sony next generation. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the timing is it's a little bit weird for the vice president to be leaving on the, getting so close to a new console generation. I mean, there might be an argument to say that maybe he's done what he wanted to do and that's pretty much it. But, I mean, unless he got a really good offer somewhere else or there are some other personal reasons, I can't see him leaving. I mean, like, it's not like Microsoft doesn't have the money to pay him. I'm sure if he wanted more money, it probably wouldn't be that big of an issue, considering how integral he's been to the brand. But who knows? I mean, after 20 years, maybe he's just like, I want to do something else, or I want to take some time off, or maybe he wants to get
into time with his family, that kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe he wants to try and take some time off to watch Fortnite's Black Hole. You never know. I agree with you. I don't think it's about money. If it was about money, Microsoft's got it. I think, just touching on your point there about leaving on the eve of the console, I mean, is it ever a good time to leave? If you left this time next year, it'd be as the console releases. If you leaves a year later, it's a year into the new console life. Like,
yeah, no, you're right. Maybe.
You could probably put a spin on it like that, unless you're right in the middle of the console generation. It's going to be, people will put that kind of spin on it no matter what.
True. And and we've been seeing him on Twitter talking to, Major Nelson and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So obviously it was on good terms. So I don't think this is a push out or anything of that nature. It looks like he's just decided that it's time to move on.
Yeah. Well, we'll miss him. I think it's good. Well, I don't know if it's good, but I'm just thinking out loud here. But the fact that it's been so good in terms of the experience on Xbox, I don't think I could put my finger on to go exactly what he has done that's made being on Xbox so brilliant. But I think that Xbox being so brilliant has a lot to do with Mikey Barra.
I would agree.
He's always been for the fans, and I mean, people say that, but I felt like he actually, embodied it. So, anything more on that before we go to the next one?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, it is sad, and I am interested to see what happens next for him, even if it is outside of the the gaming sphere.
Maybe he's making a new game with Cliff Bleszinski.
I mean, Cliffy B does have all that Epic money to throw around, apparently.
I reckon he's doing okay. All right. Well, the second big departure in the past week was the Mixer co-founder Matt Salzamendi. I'd actually not heard this guy's name before he left, so I don't know. Is that a good thing? Maybe, maybe not. But he's been with Mixer for 5 years. Now he's going on to something else. He made his announcement on Twitter, by the looks of it. Mm-hmm. I remember thinking, you remember when it was called Beam?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, I actually just thought that was a good name. And I remember thinking, Mixer, that name sucks.
Yeah, actually, I remember when they announced it, everyone was like, Beam sounds great, but I guess it was hard to copyright.
Yeah. But now that I think about it, I'm like, Mixer, it makes sense. Maybe it's because I'm so used to the name of it, but...
I mean, it's got an X in it. It's on the Xbox. I mean, I guess it,
Yeah. So, they talk a little bit in this article about how Microsoft acquired Beam back in 2016, and it's grown a lot since then. I think Mixer, at least compared to Twitch, I don't really know about the other streaming platforms a whole lot. Mixer seems to have like regular changes and updates, kind of the way that the Xbox interface does.
For better or worse, yeah.
Yeah, they keep adding things, and like they added Embers and those other things that you can give to streamers. They've added like co-streaming, all this cool stuff, and I guess that would have to be at least in part to this Matt Salzamendi fella. So I guess it's not quite as big a loss as Mikey Barra, but I think that will probably still have people in place to do whatever it was that Matt Salzamendi did.
Well, I guess the question is, what's the plan for Mixer going forward? I mean, obviously they recently acquired Ninja, which was their sort of big coup. But I guess the question is, what is Microsoft's Mixer strategy going forward? Especially considering, I'm not 100% sure, but with the latest update on the for the dashboard, is Mixer's being moved again, right? Well, from where it normally is. I suppose I should.
Oh, has it? I really don't know.
Yeah, I am not part of the beta program, but I heard it got rolled back. I think Warren was a little upset by it because he was quite happy with the new dashboard.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was complaining that he got the new one taken away from him.
Yeah, because they're going to put it out properly soon. But I'd be interested to see how Mix is going to be positioned, because obviously like I said, they are releasing a lot of updates. I mean, Microsoft does have quite a big development team. They need to be working on something. Same reason Facebook changes all the time.
I just want it in chronological order. That's all I've ever wanted. Don't suggest things to me. Just give it to me in the order it happened. No, but I think those days are long, long gone.
Long gone.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's all about the algorithm.
And that's kind of, and I'll be interested to see what Mixer does, because I mean they do struggle with market share against Twitch, obviously, because Twitch is the big boy. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it with the end of this gen, and what next gen holds for the streaming stuff, because I don't know how. I mean, obviously it would be great to see numbers as sort of retention and that sort of stuff around who's using the streaming for what, and its integration into gaming on Xbox properties and non-Microsoft, non-Xbox properties, that sort of stuff,
I think it would be really telling if we could see like a number of users or time spent, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago versus today. Because at least the feeling that I get is that Mixer has been on an upward trajectory. Maybe not always going up, but I feel like generally it's been on the up.
Yeah, and I guess it's also like the acquisition of Ninja, for example, is obviously a big get for them, because it just brings a large amount of people over. they're obviously willing to invest in it. So, I mean, it does. It looks like a good competitor. As to how good, we'll probably never know because they won't release those numbers. But it'll be interesting to see how they tackle it when they bring out the new console. How much mix is going to be integrated into it? Is it going to be, is it going to be the Scarlet with Mixer right next to it, or is it going to be Scarlet with? I guess we have some Mixer in there somewhere. You just have to go looking for it.
Is it going to be the Kinect at launch or the Kinect 3 years in?
Exactly. That's a great example.
I think that personally, I think that it'll be a lot more successful in the Kinect.
I would hope.
I mean, I think it probably fair to say it already has been.
Yeah.
But I think that what games need to do is think about the more kind of integration they can have with Mixer. Because you remember how iDub had, was it Mixer or a Twitch integration? You could put hashtags and special codes in and it would affect the game that you were playing. Mm-hmm. I always thought that was a really cool feature, and then I never saw it in a game again. Yeah,
there've been a few games that have some Twitch and Mixer integration. I think the last one I can think of though was it Forza Horizon 4 had some Mixer integration.
Oh, the XP channel.
Yeah, the XP channel. But that was pretty much it. And I think maybe I don't know what the appetite. I mean, I'm not a streamer. I don't stream or watch streams or anything along those lines, really. So I'm probably not the right person to ask. But I'd be interested to see what they're going to do with next gen, how it's going to be implemented, and whether they're going to do more of that sort of integration piece, or whether they're just going to keep it as a split thing between the games and the streaming.
Yeah, I get the feeling the line's going to blur a little bit more, because even in the dashboard, kind of as it is now, you clip over to that tab, and the stream starts playing on your dashboard. You don't even have to go to the app now, and you're there. You're in Mixer. So I don't know. I mean, if they start trying to give me pop-up ads for Mixer in the middle of my game, then we've got a problem. But
maybe shaped like a little paperclip. Says, "Hey, buddy, want to watch a stream?"
Hey. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. Well, let's leave Mixer there. So obviously we were both at PAX this week, and Chin Doctor was as well. He's still down in Melbourne. We also had Shadow down there. Tarragon was down there. Your partner, Alison, came across as well. And we saw Oz Buffanatic, I hope I say that right, and Cooper, R56 Cooper S11. I think that was everyone that I remember seeing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we're going to go back and forth, on a few things that we liked, a few things we didn't like, and kind of some final thoughts. So I think I'll start. One of my favourite things, it's one of my favourite things every year, is the cosplayers that go. The effort and attention to detail that people put into their costumes it's impressive. It's every time I've seen it, it's been super impressive. My mind is regularly blown at how good the cosplays are. And you know what? There are people that clearly are just starting out or don't have the skills that these kind of semi-pro level type people do, and they still get there. I saw these kids. They were, far too young, in my opinion, to be playing Borderlands, but they had orange pants on, and they had texted on 6-packs onto their chest, and they were like psychos from Borderlands. I just thought, you know what? That's really cool. And it wouldn't have cost them a lot of money to get a pair of orange pants and, a Sharpie. But it's very cool just to see people dressing up. One thing I always do think of as those cosplayers is how do they get in to the city?
Yeah,
because
I was thinking that too, actually. Especially some of the bigger ones.
Yeah, could you imagine being on the train? I caught the train in and out all 3 days. Imagine being on an hour-long train, and then it's a 10-minute walk from the station.
Yeah,
and just dressed up as Bridget from Overwatch or the Doomslayer, or I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I know there's a cosplay changing room, but I think some people probably go in dressed.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I totally agree with you. I saw there was one guy on the first day when we were standing in line to get in was dressed up as the Lich King with Frostmourne from Warcraft, and he was just standing there posing basically the entire time, just providing some visual entertainment while we're all waiting to get in. It's a real dedication to the craft.
Yeah, I remember probably my favourite cosplay. Well, I guess there's two, but my second favourite was last year. I think it was last year, and Chin reminded me of this when I saw him. But there was a group of Waluigis last year, and they were the Waluigi for Smash protest group or something. And they were all dressed up as Waluigi, and I just thought that was cool. But my favourite one was, it was a bunch of about 10 guys. They were kind of dressed like Link from Legend of Zelda, but they had like chickens. They were dressed as like chickens, but kind of like Link, and they had wanted signs for Link.
Right.
And they had fake baseball bats. And every time they saw someone dressed up as Link, they all charged at him and pretended to wail on him with these baseball bats. Because having not played a Zelda game, I still understand in some of the Zelda games, if you attack a chicken, they will absolutely roll you.
Yeah, so basically you can attack the chickens a few times, but if you attack them one too many times, suddenly a whole swarm of them will just appear and absolutely destroy you.
I feel like that would be an achievement if Zelda was on Xbox.
Yeah, I think was it Ego Draconis or whatever it was, Dragon Knight Saga had a similar achievement. If you killed too many bunnies, just a giant bunny came up and just completely walloped you.
That sounds like Shadow Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
There are bunnies, you can kill them, and like every fourth one or something turns into a black bunny.
Right. And
metal music starts playing, and they will attack you. It's quite funny. There's an achievement for killing one, and it's in the new game as well.
Oh, great!
It's, Shadow Warrior 2. Anyway, what was one of the first things you liked there?
I gotta say the panels were. I mean, this was my first PAX, mine and Alison's first PAX, so we weren't 100% sure what it was going to be like. It was, but I think the panels were the first thing that jumped out at me. Some of them were good, some of them weren't so good, but it was really interesting, and it's great to be able to sit down with like-minded people in video game stuff in the same way that you would like a podcast or something along those lines, and just listen to experts in their field talk about something that's game-related, but not just, oh, hey, look at this great video game. Things about, like, so I sat in on one about sound and how it makes us feel and how it affects us and the different sort of stuff along that. I also sat on one. My favorite one was the Moral Panic panel.
Yeah, agreed. That was my favorite too.
I
had the panels in there as one of the things I really liked. That Moral Panic one was brilliant.
Yeah, there's just some funny people who are really well informed around how video games are the new Moral Panic, and really well researched, and also like they're obviously gamers interested in games and that sort of stuff. I mean, the Xbox guy at the end kind of was just doing the company line about adaptability, but, whatever. And
there was the woman on there that actually works on the Australian ratings board.
Yes, absolutely.
And I thought that was, she wasn't funny. Well, she was a bit funny, but that kind of wasn't her role. It was more to provide, why, as soon as something happens in Australia, does it get knocked back and doesn't get an R18 plus rating. And she's like, well, this is what the standard that we have to rate by says. And it's like, you can have one, but you can't have two. And if you have 1 and 2, and it's just like, they don't make any sense. They don't complement each other. And she said that the standards hadn't been updated in 10 years, and they were doing like a draft paper. In Australia, the standards to be updated means, I think she said all the states and territory leaders need to agree to it.
Yeah, you have to get like 10 people in a room together, all to agree to a single set of things because of the way that Australia's government works. It sounded ridiculously complex because it's all gentlemen's agreement, apparently.
Yeah. So I found that interesting. But I agree with you on 100% on that panel. That was by far my favourite. There was the panel that was on mental health in video games. I really enjoyed that one. There was another panel, actually, that I went to with Tarragon. It was late on Sunday. It was actually, you would have been on the plane at this point, but it was talking about these things called mega games. Apparently at PAX they were running a mega game. Now, if you were to say, hey Alex, what's a mega game? They explained it in the panel, and I still don't really fully understand it. But the game that they were playing was like a Western. And they were dressed up with red scarves around their neck. And the idea, I believe, was for them to find other people participating in the game and go and shoot them. But they were playing inside the PAX Convention Center.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I mean, how long can you probably do that for? Not all 3 days, I wouldn't have thought. But apparently they did. But they were talking about mega games as in... have you played The Invisible Hours?
Yes, absolutely.
Alright, so they were saying there was a type of mega game that was set in a 5-story warehouse, which was essentially the story of Macbeth.
Oh.
And on each level there was like a different room and a different part of the story being told by real-life characters.
Right.
And it's like a mega game like that. I actually have bought a ticket to this thing called Clue Up Games, which is in about 6 weeks' time. And we're going into the city, me, my wife Nicole, and her family. And the story will be that there's been a murder, and we're going to be the detectives solving the murder. And I think we'll be going around to different places in the city within a reasonably small space to try and solve this murder. And it's supposed to last a few hours. So I would never have gone to that panel, but Tarragon was interested in it, and I didn't have much to do. So I ended up going there with no interest, and I left with like, man, these mega games sound really cool.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I know there was the guy I know in London. They saw one that was essentially, it was almost like performance art, because it was like a stage play that was happening at multiple levels, and it would repeat after a while. So that what you do is you could just follow a person, or you could just wander around, and everyone was wearing masks and that sort of stuff. And
that's exactly the one that they were talking about.
Yeah, so incredibly fascinating. I'd love to see something like that.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Were any other panels that you really liked?
There was one that was gamifying government.
Oh yeah, we both went to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what they were talking about was how they use VR, virtual reality, AR, augmented reality, using things like HoloLens and stuff like that in areas of the around Australia that are not gaming centric. So, for example, they used for agriculture, they were using training, interactive training, using models of cars and vehicles and that sort of stuff to look for biohazards being brought in. And then there was also like an air traffic controller sort of version of the game where planes are flying in and you have to decide what sort of screening they need for quarantining and stuff around biosecurity, around invasive species.
Actually, I didn't go to this panel with you. This was too full when I wanted to go.
That's right, yeah, because everyone was waiting outside for it. I managed to sneak in.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it was really fascinating. I mean, it's a little bit dry, but there was a guy from the Defense Department there, and he was talking about how they'd essentially turned what would normally be like an 8-page report on a tactical situation into a proper like video game-esque simulation, like an RTS, where it's the way he described it was Telltale with army people. So basically,
Cool.
there are decision points that you can make, and they sort of branch. It's like a choose your own adventure, but in a sort of military situation around what you want to do. And apparently, he said there was like 16 endings or whatever, and one of them still hadn't been found. But apparently, you needed it really badly to get that one. But they were using it for sort of training instead of doing a full report on the thing and then presenting it. You could show it in this different way. And they also he said there was a toggle between regular speak and NATO, the NATO abbreviations. So the people who are more advanced with it actually can get a real feeling of what would be communicated to them in the shortened form, as opposed to like long forms of communication which aren't natural. But it was really just like multiple levels of training. So there were a few others around. There was a museum. They were showing off some planes, and that's sort of it was like an aviation museum that was showing off AR models of the planes, so you can interact with them in different places and go up to stuff and look at engines and wings and that sort of stuff. It was very, very fascinating. It's interesting to see, how they're using this technology, especially like HoloLens, for example, which was a Microsoft thing, to in ways that it wasn't initially intended to, as a more sort of an interesting application around using gaming technology to better everyone's lives and to do interesting experiments with.
Oh man, I'm more bummed that I missed it now that I've heard you talk about it. Damn. All right. Well, one of the other things I really enjoyed, might sound sappy, but hanging out with you guys, seeing all the people from Australia. Well, not everyone from Australia, but the people from Australia in our community and New Zealand. Hanging out with you guys, having lunch, sitting down, catching a panel, just sitting down, doing whatever. Band. Yeah. Oh, man, the rock band. Yeah. Well, I didn't forget about the rock band, but, man, we had some good times. Chin, I don't know why Chin was bloody trying to stop getting me up there. It's like, let someone else have a go. I'm like, it's been 7 songs, mate. Like, let me get up there. No, let someone else have a go. Anyway. Yeah, the rock band, they had a room which had, I don't know, 100 chairs in it, 150 chairs in it for the crowd. And people would get up there of all skill levels, from absolute novice to that dude on the drums that was playing on expert. Oh, he was a boss. But all levels, you get off and like everyone in the crowd's like, yeah, woo, clapping you, applauding you. And I don't know, just...
That was great.
It sounds really dumb, but it was actually really cool.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah. And I got to do Down with the Sickness as well, so I was pretty happy with that. I think that was after you... I was waiting for something. I was waiting for a panel, I think, and I was waiting for my phone to charge in one of those charging boxes. And so I went up there for like half an hour, and I did Down with the Sickness. And I thought for a second that I could do the guitar and the singing at the same time for like a very brief second, because I know the words to that song with my eyes closed. But to watch the runway for the guitar and the side-scrolling runway at the top for the singing, I'm dreaming. Unless I've memorised one of them, it's just not happening. But it's quite funny when you see like a guy that was dressed up like that guy on the guitar. He was dressed in like a bikie jacket, and he had like, it was real like tough looking.
Yeah, he was real tatted up.
Yeah, like real tatted up, and like nice big ginger beard, like looking like a real fan of metal. And like plays something like Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up, and you're just like, this doesn't compute. But it was, man, that was awesome. But apart from that, just hanging out with you guys, even when we went to lunch, and just hang around talking about this and that I really enjoyed that. So
yeah, me too. It was so good to meet everybody, because it's it's one of those things where when I was originally listening to the podcast before I was on it, was that first trip to PAX was one of those things that I was like, I really, really wish I could have gone to that. It was just so last minute for me. So I was like, this year I had to go, and it was the first thing I booked as soon as the tickets came available. And I'm so glad I did, because I had such a great time meeting you guys and hanging out and cracking jokes and stuff that we can't repeat on the podcast.
Yeah, a few things. Yeah. Well, do you have anything else that you liked, or should we move on to some of the things?
No, I think that those are the main ones that I liked. I mean, it was cool seeing the games as well, but I wasn't really super there for those.
Actually, probably one thing I didn't jot down is I actually enjoyed the Xbox Twitter hunt, and I had aspirations of finishing in the top 5. So Twitter hunt, if anyone follows me on Twitter, not the real Gamerscore account, my ProfessorPluto account, you would have seen hundreds of tweets this weekend.
A lot of spam, yep.
Yeah, a lot of spam. So sorry about that if you're following me, but you'll not have to see it for another 360 odd days. So they had a competition where they hid QR codes around the Xbox booth, but also in other booths around the place. So you scan those in, it integrates with Twitter and gives you a score. They also had hashtags which had several of the letters missing, and if you guessed them, that also gave you points. And they had, the third thing was the emoji game. So they would say, put up a Gears of War 5 emoji game, and you have to, from the selected list, pick 5 emojis that describe Gears of War, and it was like the red-faced swearing guy, robot, the cog, that kind of stuff. And so people were tweeting hundreds and hundreds of times and guessing them. On the start of Saturday, I was second on the leaderboard, and by the end of day 3, I was 17th. So, yeah, I was a bit disappointed. But when people, the person that won, I'm pretty sure she just sat there all weekend tweeting at Xbox ANZ the guesses to the emoji game.
Yeah.
And she actually, on the second day, I didn't know that she was on the board, and she's like, "Oh, what's that hashtag?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, the answer to that is that." And the ones that I knew, but the ones that I didn't know, I'm like, "Well, what is it?" I mean, it was like Iron Golem Smash. It was from Minecraft Dungeons, and I don't play Minecraft that much, but I guessed that one, and I told her that, and she ended up winning it. She beat me by 385 points, so I was on 1,500. She was on 1,885.
Ooh.
But you got more points for guessing the Twitter emoji games first, I think. I don't really know. They weren't super clear on how I got beaten. But the prizes, so the prize for first was an expenses paid trip to London, so flights, accommodation, tickets to XO19 next month. Spots 2, 3, 4, and 5 got an Xbox One X. Initially, they were just going to do spots 2 and 3, but they extended it out, including 4 and 5, because this guy, Peter PN Taylor, I think his handle is on Twitter, him and I were trying to help each other during the weekend, and he finished in 5th, so he wasn't going to get an Xbox One X, and then he did. After that, I don't really know, but I suspect spots 6 to 10 got a controller, because they said controllers were the prizes, and, I don't know, 10 to 20, or maybe higher than 20, as we were discussing in Discord today, got some sort of Game Pass Ultimate. So it was really good competition. Like I said, I finished 17th out of, 100 or so maybe people that were actually having a go for it.
Yep, there's photographic evidence of you on the board.
Yes, I have taken it. And Xbox got in touch with me to get some Game Pass Ultimate my way. But actually, I don't know why. I really enjoyed that.
It was a really fun little extra bit of thing to make you go around and really see everything. It was a fun thing to do, but it's also a good thing for them as well to make sure that people are paying attention.
Yeah, because when I think about the Xbox booth itself, obviously I went there first. I think you guys went there pretty early too. Mm-hmm. They had Sea of Thieves, which I'm not interested in. I don't think you're interested in. No. They had a new game that they were previewing called Bleeding Edge, and it kind of varied from being completely full to completely empty. Mm. Seemed like it was kind of an Overwatch clone.
Yeah, it's Ninja Theory's new game that they're doing.
Yeah. They were showing Minecraft Dungeons, which was pretty much always full, as you would expect, with the fan hype around it. They had, I think, 2 consoles with NBA 2K20 on it. And I was not interested in NBA 2K20 at all, but they had one of those basketball machines, and if you shot 40 points or more, you got a drink bottle or a basketball. So I did that twice. I got a basketball for me and a basketball for Shadow. What else did they have there? I think they had a few random games
Gears
here
5
and there.
And...
Oh, yeah, they had the Gears 5 tournament along the side, didn't they?
Yeah.
That 5-on-5, 4-on-4, whatever it was. They were also right next to Cyberpunk, which I think was part of the Xbox booth.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah, they were screening like... What would you call it, what they were screening there for that?
Like a walkthrough? Or like a... I don't know, like a...
Like a live demonstration,
I guess
maybe?
so, yeah. I guess it's kind of, like a hands-off demo.
Yeah. I walked past it a couple of times, but I don't know. Cyberpunk is, dare I say it, probably not going to be for me.
Oh, buddy, you're gonna don't do that. We're gonna invite all kinds of criticism about the show now. That game looks great. You kidding me? How dare you?
Let's double down on it. It looks like a slightly enhanced version of Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, or Human Revolution or something.
Yeah, okay. Look, I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, like, to be fair, I love those games, and I love The Witcher, and CD Projekt Red could do no wrong. But we'll see. I mean, like, I didn't really sit in on many of the presentations because, I mean, I'm probably not going to play the game till a year after it's been out anyway. So
yeah, same. I think the thing that I do like about it is that it seems like everybody's liking it, and I hope that, and I have confidence in the fact that CD Projekt Red can release the game and in a way that the fans will enjoy it and not be like, oh man, this was a letdown.
I mean, they got a hard ask because I mean they've really hyped it as like an amazing, huge game. But again, it's the game of people's minds is not going to be the game they play. But it does look like an absolute quality title for sure. Yeah,
you don't want to go Watch Dogs on it.
No, exactly.
Watch Dogs 1 specifically. Yeah. All right. In terms of the things you didn't like, do you want to go first with something you didn't like?
Yeah, I mean, like I like most of it. Like if you wanted to play anything, it was a waste of time. I went to the Doom booth at about 11, so the show opened about 10. I was there about 11:30, and they had a sign just saying, "Hey, all the spots are booked for today. Come back tomorrow."
Yeah, I saw that sign all 3 days.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I mean, like I'm not again same sort of thing. Like I'm interested in Doom, but I'll just play it when it comes out. I don't really need to see a preview of it or play it. But like they're obviously like oversold, or it's a little ridiculous.
I think that I didn't actually ask them, but last year when I was there, I tried to go into PlayStation. I think it was for Days Gone,
right?
And you had to pre-book your spot online. And when I saw that sign on Doom's booth, I don't know why, I just thought that was the same thing. I saw it Friday and I saw it Saturday. I was like, oh, well, it's one of those ones, and it's probably already sold out if I'm looking at it. And it's got a sign up that says "Come back tomorrow." Tomorrow's probably already sold out.
Yeah.
So I didn't even bother. So I was disappointed by that. That's actually one of my final thoughts. Having to book in for booths is dumb.
Yeah, well, no,
I don't like it.
I'm with you. It's. I mean, I kind of understand it because they have to do something to control it. Because like they don't want to have people standing there for hours and hours and end to not get in. The E3,
like the Final Fantasy VII booth, perhaps.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes, I know Chin was really interested in giving that a go. I don't know how he fared with that.
I don't think he made it.
No,
I don't think he got in.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. It was absolutely ridiculous.
So I remember when I walked past it and I was looking at the line, I think there was a paper sign that said the wait is 2 hours from this point.
And we had just got in.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, if I paid $170, which, I mean, I did pay $170, but if I had paid $170 and I had to spend 2 hours in a line doing nothing, I would be super salty. I guess I'm kind of at odds with saying having to book in for booths is dumb. If you booked in for that, maybe, you know.
Well, they really should just have more. Better, they need to have more consoles, basically, is the thing.
Yeah. And I think, like Doom, like Final Fantasy VII, like Cyberpunk, if you're going to put them on a console, you need to have a damn lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because they're the three of the most anticipated games that have yet to come out. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It is what it is. One of the things I didn't like, I wouldn't say it was a dislike, but I was disappointed in the indie games. Last 2 years, indie games have been the best thing about PAX for me. Every second game or every third game was an arena-based battle game.
Yeah.
4-player couch co-op arena battle. I'm like, we've got so many of them on Xbox already, and they've got more coming out, and it's like, I don't know, they don't really grip me that much in the first place. And now we've got heaps more coming. I mean, I don't know.
I also think the other point was that I think you and Chin said that there'd been quite a few repeats from last year as well.
Yes. Damsel was a repeat, which Damsel came out, I don't know, a month ago. It's an excellent game, don't get me wrong, but it seemed weird that it was there. Alluri, which, you know, it was fine that was there. That came in a more advanced state than last year's one, and actually was probably one of the highlights at PAX for me. I really enjoyed Alluri. it's for those who haven't heard us talk about it. It's about an endangered species, red panda, and you go on a platforming-based adventure. So that's really all I'll say about it. Go and check it out if you want to know more about it. But Chin loved it last year. I don't know if you made it to the booth this year. I loved it. I took Nicole to that booth on Monday. She loved it. Sunday. Took her to that booth first on Sunday because I really wanted to show her. But yeah, that, and there was another game called Dead Static Drive, which was really cool. But apart from that, I was just a bit whatever about most of the rest of the games. It just didn't seem like they were for me.
Mm.
Although the Blowfish booth was awesome.
Yeah, and they were really nice. They were great to talk to. Shout out to them if they happen to be listening for some weird reason.
Yeah. They I looked at the games because they had just a scrolling thing of their games. I'm like, played that. We reviewed that one. You know, I don't know if they wouldn't have realised who I was because I don't do the reviews. But if I'd have spent a bit more time there and said, hey, you know, this is Chin Doctor, and go, you know, you guys send him codes for this and that, they'd probably be like, oh, you know, it's nice to have a face and a name type of thing. But I played that game, was it Infliction?
Yeah,
Affliction? Something like that.
Yep.
The scary game. I think it's going to be good, but for me, I was like, okay, something's about to happen here, and something did happen here. So I could kind of see where it was going.
Yeah, which makes sense.
I watched too many scary movies, so I'm like, something's about to happen. Bang, there it is, you know.
Perfect to get Chin to play later.
Yeah. I reckon he might enjoy it. No, that's not true.
We'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy it watching him play it.
We'll enjoy watching him enjoy it, yeah. All right, so why don't we just do a bit of wrap up on our final thoughts. I'm just going to hit them with you quick fire, and you can jump on what you want, and then I'll go to you. Final thoughts. Saturday's too busy. Yep. Too many people. It got sold out, and you couldn't walk anywhere. And the problems you were saying, like if you wanted to go and play something, you weren't going to do it on Saturday.
Yeah, even the worst thing for that was that some of the best panels were on Saturday, and especially in the smaller theatres, they had separate rooms for you to start lining up in after they'd filled up the main queues. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. This year was the first time I actually missed a panel because it got booked out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that some of the other panels I went to in the bigger theatres had a lot of room that could have maybe gone somewhere else.
Yep, agreed.
Anyway, I don't know. Having a book in for booths is dumb. Already done that. I just wrote this one down. Have a shower and brush your teeth.
I feel personally attacked here, okay? Look, I was in a very rough hotel. It's a very rough...
No, it wasn't you, mate. It wasn't you. But, I mean, for me, I was getting hot, and I'm thinking, damn, I'm getting sweaty. So I actually bought 2 T-shirts. I was wearing a T-shirt. I bought a spare T-shirt. I bought a pair of shorts. So I felt like I was getting too much. I could go and get changed. And I think I actually did change my T-shirt one of the days. But there were people who came there that definitely hadn't had a shower that morning or brushed their teeth, let alone got stinky during the day. So I'm just saying.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Cosplay rocks. I've already gone over that. So the game that I mentioned before, Dead Static Drive, that was the indie that, apart from Ailuri maybe, that was most anticipated for me. So this game, you start off, you spawn in a car by yourself, and it's like a nice hotted up car, and you're hungry. So you need to go through this apocalyptic world and find some food, maybe find some other survivors. And I thought at first it was going to be a zombie game. And as a zombie game, it 100% would work. But it's more about Lovecraftian horror themes. So you go to this diner. The first thing you come across is the diner. And there's people in the diner. You can recruit them. You can go through the cupboards and that and find some food. And, you know, it was kind of a lot like the Last Stand Aftermath game that I played at another PAX, but it looks like it's going to be really, really good. There's things that attack you when you go outside, the Lovecraftian horror elements there. It's not coming out till, I think they said end of 2020. And it's Melbourne based as well. Melbourne based, or it's just Australia based? So, yeah, Dead Static Drive. That's what I was most impressed with in terms of games. So, you hit me with some final thoughts there, Matt. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on the have a shower thing. There was a reason that Xbox was giving away their Xbox links in the Crane game.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Crane game. Do you want to tell everyone what the Crane game was all about?
Yeah, so they had in the middle of their booth, they had a crane that if you donated $1 or a gold coin, you could have, was it three goes on the crane, I think it was?
3 goes, yeah.
To the crane arm, you could just go and grab stuff in. So there were some like spheres they had in there that apparently if you opened them, they had stuff like a t-shirt or a controller.
I saw a guy get a controller at the end of day 2. He was like the last guy. And he pulled out the sphere.
They had some game discs, t-shirts, and a lot of that Lynx deodorant stuff that we talked about a few episodes back.
And the body wash. And there were actual controllers you could pick up. I put in a $5, so I got 5 goes, and on one of the goes, I got the claw. I mean, I got the claw around the controller every time that I went for it, but on one of the times it went around it picked it up off the ground.
Yep.
And I was like,
this is it.
And then it dropped because, of course it does.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I didn't even need a controller. It's just the most expensive thing in there that I'm like, okay, if I get this, I'm straight up G. But all of the money that you donated went to charity, and they actually released the figure earlier today. I think it was about $7,900 that they donated to... you know what? I don't even know what the charity was. I think it was called Create. And it's something to do with kids and accessibility to stuff. I don't know 100%, but it was obviously for a good cause.
Yeah.
But yeah, that claw machine.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was great.
Cool,
and
man.
I like, it was fun just to watch it, to be honest, because it was interesting to see people trying it out.
Absolutely.
People having different strats. And the only other thing was a couple of the panels were a little bit sparse. And you could really tell that there was a different level of quality between some panels. Like that Moral Panic one we talked about was obviously really well thought out. They had some very accomplished people talking about a very structured thing that they want to, they had some points to get across. They had a good slideshow going. But Alison and I went to a panel called Are We the Baddies? Which was a panel where we were reviewing video game protagonists to try and decide whether they're good or bad people. So people like Booker DeWitt from Bioshock, Joel from The Last of Us, Batman from the Arkham series, and Kratos from God of War, that sort of thing. It devolved into some just really bad memeing, and it was just really unstructured and really just unfunny. But the best thing about it is that they had set up a Q&A page.
Oh, I know where this is going.
they had set up a Q&A page. And it said, they were originally going to do a poll for each of them, but they didn't set the poll up correctly, so it was just people complaining about the poll not working. And so people were just posting comments and upvoting them. Highest one was Honk for the Goose Game. Mm. But there was one that caught my eye, and I saw someone say, man, someone in the 4th row's fallen asleep. That's how bad this is. I really wish I was that person. And I was laughing about it, and then I was like, hang on a minute, we're pretty far back. And so I turn around and I start counting down the rows because I want to look for this person, and I was like 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the 4th row. So I look to the left, I don't see anyone. I look to the right, and I see Alison there, completely zonked out, just passed out over the back of the chair. I'm like, oh well, I guess now she's PAX famous. So.
I remember you telling me about that when you came out. I was like, man, that's so funny.
It was great. Yeah. So I mean, the panel was an absolute disaster, but we got something out of it in the end.
Yeah. All right. Well, you all done? Final thoughts?
Yeah. We should probably leave a spot here for Chin. He said he wants to talk about some stuff, which I'm sure he'll just edit in some weird noises. So thanks for that, Chin. That was really interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, we definitely listened, and we very much enjoyed it. As much as the Are We the Baddies panel. So, I guess one last question before we move on. Would you go again? Are you going to come next year?
I'm going to try and make it next year if I can. Obviously, it is a bit more of a logistics nightmare for me than it is for people living in the area. But Alison and I really enjoyed it, and we really enjoyed Melbourne in general. So I'm hoping that next year, if we get a bit more time off, we might incorporate it a bit more into a trip. But I think maybe we'll only do maybe 1 or 2 days at the show itself, unless they really ramp it up. Because that Sunday, we almost basically didn't go. Oh, one more thing before we end, though. The one thing I did do on Sunday is that we did the Maximon Challenge with one Shadowless Edge, who's been bugging me about it the whole year. So I finally decided, okay, fine, I'll trudge over and we'll go and stand on the Maximon thing. And I absolutely smashed him. It wasn't even a competition. He got demolished. He was standing up there. He snapped his Maximon in half. He had one in each hand ready to go. And I just absolutely wiped the floor with him. I got a free t-shirt. It's got a Maximon on it and basically a walking advertisement. I was 1 second off the record for the day, although I'm sure that it would have been ended up at 30 seconds. I did 1 minute and 15 seconds. The current record was 1 minute 14. But I heard last year someone did it in 14 seconds flat, so I didn't think I was going to beat that, to be honest.
I saw that video and it was just like, it's so impressive, but also so disgusting. It's something not right. Like, no ice cream headache. He's just, like that episode of The Simpsons where Marge puts is it the blueberry pie out?
Yep.
And she's like, Homer, don't eat this. And he's like, I'm just going to go like this. And if you get eaten pie, it's your own fault. And then he hits his head.
Yep.
But then he obviously eats a pie anyway. So that's what it reminded me of, that video, that dude doing it in 14 seconds. It was crazy, man.
Yeah. It was something special for sure.
So you smashed the Shadow, yeah?
Yep.
Smashed him.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. He'll enjoy listening back to this too. All right. Well, yeah, PAX, I'll be there again next year. Hope for better panels next year and a bit better everything else. But hey, if it's the same quality, I'll still go again next year. All right. We're going to go straight across GTASC Roundup. So the bonus this week is called Running Out of X Yet. It's for the team side. You need to end the scoring period having spelled the alphabet, all 26 letters, using the first character of a newly unlocked achievement.
Oh boy.
Both, was it 3? All 3 teammates need to do this, but you can do it in any order. So you don't have to go A, B, C, D. You can go whatever order you want. Any number of extra achievements can be in between the letters used as well. So the solo cutoff was at 720 true achievement difference. The solo low was Mace J at 854. That's 134 above the line. Solo high, 14th position was Prue, 4,259 points. We had a couple of people who got knocked out this week. Hawkeye Barry 20, Ghost World, and Chin Doctor.
Maybe that's why he's not on the show. He just couldn't bear the embarrassment.
Shame. Shame. Ding, ding, ding.
Shame.
I won't be too far behind him, to be fair. Are you still in as well?
I was actually under for the last, like, when I got home on Monday, and I looked at it and I was like, oh boy, okay, I'm out. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to swallow my pride. I'm going to start up Goat Simulator, and I'm just going to smash out some achievements. So I went and did one of the DLC packs for that, and just got me across the line. So it was pretty close, though.
Fair enough. Well, we both look, I'm not saying we're both better than Chin Doctor, but we're both still in the competition, and Chin Doctor's not.
I'm pretty sure he was always towards the end of the competition. I think he was almost last.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can do with that information whatever you want. Anyway. All right, so the team cut off 3,151 true achievement difference. The team low was Video Game of Thrones, which is Secular Forever, Nibirios, and OM Jesus. They were 61 points above the line, 3212. The team high was Boyes to Kingsmen, featuring B Star Smitty, actually. Probably B Star Smitty. You know, like, I can't think of a 90s band. Anyway, I'm just going to go off with who's in that team. So, Beast Middle, Kingsman 2625, and Doughboy. They were in 10th spot, 6,697 points above the line. We had some knockouts. We had the 3 Achieve Migos, So Crobo 360, Knock on Wood, and Ghost World, and the team of Von Coin Bandits, which is I Need Togepi, Tropan, and Hawkeye Barry. So they were out. All right, we've got a review coming up now. So Prue and Mighty Mango are going to review the game Decay of, is it Logos or Logos?
I think
Logos?
It's probably Logos, but I think everyone says Logos.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you can decay those Logos or Logos for us right now. Thanks, guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's review. I am Prue, and joining me is my magical elk friend, Mr. Mighty Mango. How are you?
Magical elk friend. I am doing well.
So we played a game this week, huh?
Yeah, we did play a game. Yeah, did we?
Well,
we didn't get an achievement to prove it.
We played a lot of a game this week. What game was that?
Yes, we did. We played Decay of Logos, which was published by Rising Star Games, developed by Amplify Creations. It was released on August 30th, 2019 for the fantastic price of $19.95 or $19.99. So, what kind of game do you think this is, here, Prue?
So, it's a Dark Souls clone, I would call it. But here's the thing. You know how, there's roguelites? I would call this, ironically, a Dark Souls light. A Dark Souls bright, because it's bright. Get it? It's a joke. It's funny.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Ha.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would call it a Dark Souls kind of game. It's an action RPG where the focus is on the combat. And I will come up right out front and say, wasn't a fan of Dark Souls, so this game didn't have...
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah, so... But I will say this, in Dark Souls' defense, I could tell it was still a good game, a well-designed game. I don't get that sense with, unfortunately, with Decay of Logos.
No, I didn't get that sense at all. I mean, I probably had 10-ish hours into the game, did not get an achievement. I haven't been that frustrated at a game in quite a while. And not even from the difficulty standpoint of the game, but just from the design of the game itself.
Yeah.
Like...
It's not, again, we compared to Dark Souls, but Dark Souls is punishingly difficult intentionally, whereas it feels like this game is not just difficult, it's both like frustrating unintentionally. Like all of the systems and mechanics irritate you, and it's not like punishing like Dark Souls where you're like, oh, I just need to get better. It's like disheartening, and I don't want to continue to play this anymore because I don't know that I'll be able to do it, or it was some stupid bug or glitch that stopped me from doing this, or the animation takes too long. It's just...
What was the point of the magical elf or the elk thing that you're supposed to ride around on? You go and get the berries to ride it, and you can ride it for like 2 seconds, and then you can't ride it anymore.
Yeah.
What the hell's the point?
You get an elk companion, and it's magical, and there's like some mechanic where you do have to feed
it. Magically deficient.
Man, we're full of jokes today.
Yeah.
It's you feed it berries to essentially refill its energy meter or whatever you want to call it. As a form of travel, it's almost entirely useless because you run faster and you're much easier to control when you're not on the elk. Like, when you're on the elk, you're constantly bumping into trees and invisible walls and any tiny rock that's jutting out of the land.
A blade of grass.
Yeah, but there are gameplay purposes. Like, there are certain puzzles that you need the elk to get past. So,
see, I just got so annoyed with the elk that I wanted to kill the elk.
Yeah. Yeah. That is definitely not what you're supposed to want in this game.
Well, you should be able to.
He is your buddy. He starts out in the game with you, and I assume he's part of the story the whole way through. I didn't make it to the end of the game. I know you said you were 10 hours in, but I don't think you beat it either, right?
No, I didn't beat anything. I didn't. No, seriously, I've never played. I haven't played a game in so long where the direction of where the hell you're supposed to go is completely not there. And I don't mind open world games. I don't mind it. But no matter where I went, I'm like, where the hell am I supposed to go? What the hell am I supposed to do here? This is dumb. Yeah. It's just dumb.
And so again, I think it took a lot of pages out of Dark Souls, and like no real tutorial to speak of. Like there's a beginning area with like signs that say press.
It has the little rock things that you click on.
Yeah, and they say press A to
are.
attack, but like that's it, and it's super basic. There's no direction, and you're just kind of, hey, go out and explore, which in a better game is fun to do, but here it's more frustrating than anything because you'll get killed real quick, or you'll get stuck in the geometry, or you'll fall through the floor a lot. I had that happen to me. The game crashed on me. Like,
I didn't have that happen.
oh yeah, it was bad. And so, or you'll run into the same stupid tree enemy 42 times, and you won't find whatever the stupid camps are that's supposed to heal you. I don't know. I was more frustrated than anything with this game.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, I mean, the last few weeks we played the RTS games where we're both terrible at RTS games, but at least they were playable. This game is just, if it was a disc, it's like one of those games where I just wanted to smash the disc. It just, I will say it doesn't look awful, but it doesn't look great either. I was hoping for more of a game that was like a Zelda kind of clone.
Well, it definitely,
but
I would say it definitely takes a lot of its aesthetics from Breath of the Wild. Like it kind of looks like a clone of that. Yeah, I wouldn't knock it for its graphics. I think they're
no.
And they look nice sometimes. Like even
it's just the mechanics are so bad.
Yeah,
it's just, and the direction is so bad. At least I wanted just some kind of a map so I knew where the hell I was, like, or where, because everything looks the same.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you will stumble across these like dungeons or towers or caves and stuff like that. But again, it's pretty much you're fighting the same 3 enemy types and the same 2 puzzle types, and it's just tedious. And then something will happen, you're not paying attention, and you get hit by this rock dude, and you're dead. And it's like, oh god, everything is lost.
Yep.
It's just frustrating. It was not a fun experience. And in terms of achievement hunting, I would say this may be the worst game. For that feature alone, this may be the worst game we played.
Yeah, I would say so. Of all the ones that we've reviewed, by far the worst.
Yeah, because you played 10 hours. I think I played probably 6 to 8 hours of this, and I didn't get an achievement. And okay, so let's talk about the achievements. There are how many?
There are. No, I lost track how many there are, because only 41 gamers have the game complete. Have the game, and only 2 have completed it. That's weird. It didn't give me a list here. It doesn't have a list at the top of the page on TA. Oh, there it is. Blind, late, long day. Sorry, guys. 29 achievements worth 1,000 Gamerscore. It's currently worth about 2.6 TA, yep. So 26.99 for score. But yeah, 41 track gamers have the game, and 2 have completed it. But of those 41 track gamers, I bet you there's way more that have played the game, like you and I, that didn't get an achievement.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because the achievements are missable. It's just the fact is like they're impossible to get because you don't know where you're supposed to go to get them.
Yeah, you took a left instead of a right. It looks like the one that everybody has, the first one that everybody unlocks, is for defeating this ancestral brute, which I could have sworn I beat. I would have bet money that I beat him. So perhaps
I think I did too because I saw him.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I fought him and beat him.
Perhaps that was glitched or something. Maybe something weird happened. But other than that, it's a steep drop off. I mean, obviously that's the first one that people register. Then it falls off pretty sharply. Like you said, just about 2,700 TA. Yeah. So it's a meaty game. It looks like, but I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't even guess how long it would take to complete.
Yeah, some of them are. I mean, it has the lovely unlock all the achievements achievement, and then it also has a few collectible achievements, and then a few of the story ones where it's defeating certain people. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you and I probably both beat that brute.
Yeah.
But I didn't get one.
It looks like there's a handful of missables for conversation pieces. Like you have to exhaust all conversations with certain characters. So be on the lookout for that if you play the game. Other than that, the list actually looks pretty straightforward. It's just in terms of how much are you going to have to play this game and how good are you going to have to get at it.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the leaderboard for the game itself. I don't recognize anybody in the list. So definitely that tells me already that it's not an achievement hunter type game.
No.
You really would need to like 3D adventure style, frustrating, worse than Dark Souls game that pretends to be Zelda.
I bet like really hardcore Dark Souls people would find something to like here.
Maybe.
But obviously, they would know it'd be watered down and not be what they're used to. But that niche market I would be like, okay, you should go for this. But other than that, especially in our community, that's like, nah, this is just not worth it.
For who our marketing is, or who are people that we're marketing to, this is not for achievement hunters by far. Just it's not.
Yeah. So, but for $20, there it is. If you wanted to play a almost brand new action RPG role playing game. So, Decay of Logos, right?
Correct.
And I think that's it for us. So we will throw it back to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Prue. Thanks, Mighty Mango, for that review. We'll go over to what we've been playing now. So, obviously, being at PAX, time has been shortened in terms of what we've been able to play. So, Matt, what have you been doing this week?
Not a lot. As I mentioned earlier, I did a bit of Goat Simulator. So, same sort of thing. I did the MMO expansion, so that's the easiest one. And it also has some quite useful modifications for some of the other ones. I'm going to have to go back and do Flappy Goat. I gave it a couple of goes. It's not easy, Chin. I don't care what you say.
I agree.
It's really difficult. Yeah. So I'll have to try and smash that out at some stage. But now that I'm back on Terra Firma, I got to get back into playing some games. So the other thing that I've been playing is some fun visual novels that Chin and I did a bit of a swap meet. So I gave him a bunch of my weeb trash, and he gave me an even bigger pile of his weeb trash.
So just on that, after I went to the panel with Tarragon, he gave me the Japanese Xbox 360. And he gave me, I'm just looking over at it now, it's a box that's maybe 30 centimeters long and about 25 centimeters wide. And all it contains is Japanese games. And they're not in cases, they're in individual slips.
Wow.
And he said to me, oh, it's heavy. I'm like, okay, it's a box of like plastic discs. How heavy can it be? I actually had to stop when I was walking from the road in the train station to my platform to get on the train because it was so damn heavy. So, Weeb Games, I got them.
One of us.
I've got to go through them and try and figure out which ones I can actually play. But the main reason I got it was so I could get the Dead Island series completion. So I could play Dead Island JP and Riptide JP. But yes, I'm sorry, talking about Weeb Trash. Do go on.
Yeah, so I actually have a visual novel running in the background of this right now. It's gameplays itself. So I've got one of those completed already, and I'm about halfway through another one. And I've got a.
Is that being Cronus, or is it?
No, the game just skips through because it's all visual novels. So I have my collection here that I'm playing through. So, yeah, I mean, obviously most of the titles in Japanese. One of them says Root Double. One of them says Chaos Head. One of them says Muv Love. And
Muv Love. Says, I've heard of that.
Yeah, there's a few in there. Steins Gate as well.
Is there a Memories Off in there?
I think there is one. I actually, it was funny because the cases look very similar, but I realized I had a Memories Off and Chen had a Memories Off, so we swapped them. But they're actually different games, so... Yeah, so we got all kinds of stuff that I'm going to have to play through, and I'm going to try and get it all done in time for next year's PAX. Well, actually, realistically, I'll probably get it done by next week's episode. But,
fair enough.
But, yes, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to ship these back. I might have to get in a rowboat, because shipping to Australia is a little bit expensive. But we'll make it work. So I've been playing that, I mean, as much as you play visual novels. And then the last thing I've been playing is Cuphead, which I don't know why I started, but I was like, you know what? I just hit my 1.2 million. I'm up for a challenge. Let's do something fun. And the game is fun. It is also very, very challenging. I've only just got through I got through the first island and I'm halfway through the second, but the game's barely started because I know the third island is absolutely brutal. And the last couple of bosses will just absolutely smash me. And then you have to go through on expert. So yeah. I got that to look forward to.
Yeah, I was listening to you say in the last episode that you started Cuphead, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like Neo.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the kind of game I'd normally play. But I've had it. I've heard great things about it. It was between that and Hollow Knight. And while Clowntastic
I was going to say Clown is crying right now that you said that.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah. I sent him a message on Discord being like, hey, is Hollow Knight easier than people say, or are you just really good at video games? And he said, oh, it's not that bad. And then Chin immediately jumped in being like, don't believe him. Don't believe him. It's really, really hard. So it does have a 5.4 ratio or something along those lines. So it might be a little bit much for me, but I'll probably end up playing that at some stage as well.
Well, that's still easier than me trying to get you to play Bloody Zombies with me, which is 5.67.
Yeah, but I mean, Hollow Knight is actually a good game.
Hey, I never said Bloody Zombies was bad. It's not bad. It's just not the best game you've ever played in your life.
I mean, that's true, because it's not Pit My Ride on the 360, so how could it
Or, wait, weren't you saying something last week was the worst game? Winx Club?
Winx Club is up there. That's one of the worst ones I've ever played. Oh, man, there's so many to choose from. So many terrible games. But, yeah, so a bit of a quiet week. So this week I'm somewhere between 2,300, 2,500. I've had a couple of achievements pop while I've been sitting here recording. So, who knows?
That's pretty nice. That's the dream, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. Well, I've picked a few games that I've been playing this week. So I've been continuing on with Bloody Zombies. I don't know if we've actually talked about what the game is, but it's a side-scrolling kind of 2.5D brawler game. It's kind of like Double Dragon, in the vein of Double Dragon, but with some kind of upward platforming at times, which Double Dragon kind of didn't do. It's quite difficult. I'm playing on the easiest difficulty, which I think is normal. I think there's normal, hard, and insane. And I've not passed a couple of levels, and I'm about halfway through the story. So I know I've tried to hit you up and say, come on, let's play it. But if you decide not to play it, if anyone else in Australia or New Zealand wants to play it and want to play it on the harder difficulties, let me know. The reason I say specifically Australia or New Zealand is because I played a level with, now, was it Daniel JJ14? Or was it Jim? No, it was Jimbot UK. I played with Jimbot UK. And the lag was very, very bad. And I joined his game. So, yeah, given that it's a game, it's got like heavy attack, light attack, jump, and dodge roll. And you can grapple as well. But given that you'd want to be reacting to what the enemies are doing, by the time you reacted, they would have already hit you with their attack to the dodge. So probably want to get someone close to Australia, even in Asia. If someone's in Asia and wants to play, it probably wouldn't be too bad. I actually like the writing in the game. They say something at the start of each level and sometimes at the end of each level. So you'll appreciate this, Matt. So maybe this will convince you to play. I played this guy. He said, "Oh gosh, it's escaped me now." There's a super dad joke. It's like, it's gone. I can't even remember what it was, but I remember listening to it. And I played the level a couple of times, and I'm like, Matt would love this. It's something like, I used to eat bread. Now I slay the dead. It's just real.
Okay, something that terrible.
Yeah, terrible like that. I'm like, yeah, Matt would love this. So it's good. It's good. The combat is pretty solid, but yeah, like I said, it's not an easy game, and the 5.6 ratio is probably deserved. I do feel like it could have been a lot more successful and popular if it was kind of worked on and tweaked a little bit more. Like the movement is kind of a bit slow and sluggish. It seems like there's too many levels, too much to do. There's only 12 levels, but they take you about half an hour each, depending on how quickly you get through them. It doesn't feel quite as smooth as it could be. And, I feel like if it moved a bit quicker and a bit more smoothly, then I couldn't help but thinking it might have been more popular. Anyway, that's just my little thoughts on it. I played another game which probably no one's heard of as well, called Full Mojo Rampage. So this game was actually one that I got from the Cross Atlantic Gaming Christmas gifting that they had last year. It's a twin-stick shooter adventure game, maybe I would describe it as. Again, another pretty difficult game. It's difficult because the enemies, when they hit you damn hard. You know, like I have 520 health at the moment. I get hit by an attack and it does about 120 damage.
Right.
So
yeah, so it doesn't take
4 hits and I'm dead just about. And sometimes you get backed in a corner and you get swarmed on, you're dead. It is, I think it has some rogue-like. I don't know what the difference is between those two things, but it has some rogue elements in there. In that, if you play through a quest, it's not always the same. You might get different levels, right. And if you do get, if you do die, there might be like 4 levels in a quest. You go back to the start.
Ooh,
but
okay. Yes, I definitely.
But you can press start, quit the menu, and it'll put you back at the start of the level. So if you get there quick enough, you know,
okay.
I did that on the, beat these bosses without getting hit. I had to quit out a few times.
Right.
The story is like you're some sort of fallen god or voodoo thing, and like you're trying to make good on a quest for redemption. But honestly, I'm really not sure what it's about. But the game is a lot of fun. There's some fun writing in there as well. I think the character you play as, called Baron Samedi, he has like a drinking problem, so like a god with a drinking problem. You can see how some funny stuff comes from that. And the last game I played Abzu. So I only ended up playing this because it's in the Game Pass. It was all right. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was
decent game.
Mill. I felt like it went on a bit in places. I'm still not 100% sure what the story was about. Obviously, those triangle mines are bad.
Yeah, triangle's bad, square's good.
Yeah, there's a big mine at the end. That shark dude was your buddy.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, it looked beautiful. Like, I really like the visual representation and like all the fish stuff. But yeah, it does feel like it drags on a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah. So it was okay. I mean, if you get it in Game Pass, have a crack at it. But otherwise, I mean, it's about an hour and a half to finish all the Gamerscore in it. So it's not bad for the time you spend with it. For me, 1,270 Gamerscore, so not a whole lot there. We have got a sale going on this week, surprise. So, and some games with gold have rolled over. So we've got Ninja Gaiden. Is it Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden?
It'll be Gaiden.
Okay. Whatever it is, I'm not going to play it. So Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge swaps over today on the 360. And then Friday the 13th swaps over today on the Xbox One. Or I guess yesterday, by the time you're hearing this. In terms of the Gamerscore games, let's maybe pick out a couple to talk about. But A Way Out, 50% off, $15. I actually really want to play this. I'm waiting for it to go on a little bit more of a sale. I'm going to play it co-op with my wife.
Well worth it. I did the same thing. She never forgives me.
She what? Never forgives you?
She never forgave me after how it ended. But
yeah, I'll have to make sure I pick the correct character. So wait, no, it's a fight, isn't it? So it doesn't matter who you pick. You can win either way, right?
You can win either way, okay. But just make sure you win.
Yeah,
that's.
Well, look, I play a lot more video games than Nicole does, so I probably should win. We played at PAX. We both played this battle arena game that they had. It was like a twin stick, and you can shoot out the platforms. And so I'd run around for like 30, 45 seconds in the round, and she'd try and shoot me and hit me, and I'd just look at her and one shot at her. I'm like, I feel bad, but if I don't shoot you, I'm gonna lose. Anyway, so
you feel bad, but not that bad.
I probably should beat her, and if I don't beat her, I'm going to come on here and say that I did anyway, so you won't even know. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered. Why is this in Gamerscore Games? This is a long game, isn't it?
Long-ish. I mean, it's easy, I guess is the thing. It's not traditional, but of the Assassin's Creeds, it's definitely one of the shorter ones.
Was Rogue, was that the one that came out the same time as the other one that came on 360?
Rogue was the one that came out on 360 at the same time that Unity came out on the Xbox One.
Right.
So Rogue is essentially just a smaller, stripped-down version of 4. So they basically just kept some of the best elements And it also, I think, has probably the most interesting story out of the Assassin's Creed thing. So really, I just put it on here to recommend it. But it is also a relatively simple game as well.
Well, Cars 3 Driven to Win, 60% off, $16. I guess that probably talks about itself, really. Far Cry Primal, 50% off for $15.
Yeah, so there are quite a few Far Cry sales this week, as there usually are. A few different packs you can get, Primals in a few of them. Primal's a relatively simple game. They basically reused the map from the fourth game, but obviously, considering it's prehistoric, there's a lot less to do. You don't have to worry about hang gliders or anything like that.
Oh, I liked hang gliders.
Me too. Like, I like the wingsuit and all that sort of stuff, but there was a lot of stuff to do in the fourth game.
Yeah, too much.
The map's very similar. It's actually basically like 2/3 of a game, because you go and fight a fire tribe, and then you go and fight like an ice tribe, and it really feels like there's a third part of the game that's kind of missing.
The
but
lightning
on the plus
tribe?
side, maybe, I don't know.
The water tribe? I don't know. What's the
water tribe? Yeah, I don't know. I was like, what would it be?
Wait,
right? Is it
I'm trying to think like Captain Planet, Earth, Fire, Wind, Water, Heart. The Heart tribe?
Heart tribe.
Oh man, they're just going to cuddle you to death, mate. You won't even know it's coming.
So relatively simple game. It's decent if you like the if you're not tired of the Far Cry formula, but it's cheap and it's some easy games.
So that's going to be a no from me.
Yeah.
Having said that, I did pick up my copy of Fallout 5 from Shadow this weekend, which I got for $5, brand new.
Far Cry 5, you mean?
What did I say? Far Cry 4.
You said Fallout 5.
Fallout 5. Okay. Yeah, I've got some. Sorry, I shouldn't be telling you guys about that. Yes, sorry. Far Cry 5. I'm actually looking at it. Why did I say Fallout 5? Yes, Far Cry 5 for $5. So, I mean, if I don't play it, I'll sell it. But I'll probably play it.
I'll buy it off you for $6.
6 Australian bucks? Because if it's 6 New Zealand bucks, that's less than 5 Australian bucks, probably.
$5 dues.
$5 dues. Well, Far Cry 3 is on a sale as well for $15 as well. In my opinion, probably the best out of the, 2 that I've played.
I've played most of them, and I would agree.
It's not as good as people say it is, but, it's good. Yeah. Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas is 50% off, $7.50. I don't know much about this game. I've seen it on sale a few times, though.
Yeah, so essentially it's a port from a mobile game.
Oh, boy. Okay, that doesn't start off
well. But, I know, so I was a little hesitant at first as well. But it is essentially Link to the Past mixed with Wind Waker. So some from Zelda titles. So essentially it is a sort of top-down-esque like adventure game, I guess. So it's like kind of isometric. Like it's like you just sort of wander around a map hitting things with swords and solving puzzles. It's basically Zelda, except you're on islands, so it's very much like those sort of Wind Waker later games. Mm-hmm. It's relatively easy, pretty fun, not terribly challenging. Guides are a little difficult to find sometimes, but it is because it's a mobile game. And it's a little bit janky. But for that price, if you're into that sort of game, I think it's well recommended.
Yep. We've got Scribblenauts Showdown, 60% off, $15.99, $16. State of Anarchy, Master of Mayhem. This is a game that I finished recently. It should be called Endless Grinding Simulator because the grinding in that game is so overdone. There's like 45 levels and it should have been about 15 because it's the same thing over and over and over again. Having said that, for the first 15 levels, you'll have a great time. It's very funny.
What an endorsement.
It's one of those games where they've recorded the sounds like you have a gun and it's a person going pew 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 pew, and you have a laser that's like zzz, 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 like people actually saying the words, and you drive in the car and it's like brrrr. It's amusing, like I said, for the first 15 levels, not so much in the following 30.
Okay, I might pick it up.
Well, for $4.79, I mean, it's cheap. It's cheap enough. Oh, yeah, for $4.79, that's probably fair. And the Path of Modus, which goes on sale every second or third week, it's 50% off, $7.50 again. I've got a recommendation, which is also a very easy game to finish. So it's Late Shift, 50% off, $6.24. That's a very good price. There's a very good guide. I believe it was on True Achievements that I saw it. To finish the game in, I think it was about 6 to 8 hours. You know what? It's less than 6 to 8 hours. It's probably 4 to 5. Yeah, maybe even less. But if you play it without a guide, it'll take you a bit longer. It's a very interesting and a very interesting game and a really good story. I thought it's kind of a choose your own adventure. You don't really move the characters around. You kind of just make decisions, really. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way of explaining it. Did you have anything you were going to recommend?
I didn't. Was one thing I was gonna purchase, not necessarily a recommendation, but the Hitman HD Enhanced Collection is on sale for 70% off for $17.99. Mm-hmm. So that includes a HD version of Blood Money and an HD version of Absolution. I have been on a bit of a Hitman kick recently. So
I was just about to say, since you finished Hitman, just called Hitman, isn't it? Just Hitman.
Hitman 2016 or whatever it was. Yeah, so Blood Money is one of the best ones they ever did, and Absolution is one of the worst. But I have finished both of them on the 360, so I might as well just do them again at some stage. And 70% off is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, Blood Money, I mean, we've talked about this on previous episodes. Blood Money was excellent. And Absolution, I mean, it was good.
It was
easy. And Blood Money was
too.
Definitely not easy.
No.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to think about it. Like, Absolution obviously went the way that gaming's trending, making everything easier, more checkpointing, more ways to help the gamer get through. Whereas Blood Money is that old style of you play this until you get it right.
Yeah, exactly. And you play it on professional, you get no saves. You better get it right the first time.
Or you are starting again. Yeah, man. Professional, that was very difficult. Very difficult. I've said this before on the podcast, but in that Heaven and Hell level, where you have to go to the Hell party on the bottom floor and the Heaven party upstairs, you can get that guy in the gold suit that kind of looks like the Donnie Darko demon.
Yep.
Or whatever he is. The cubicles are not quite large enough in one of the toilets he goes to. And I played that level numerous times, and his foot was sticking literally through the door. Not through a part open door, but through the door, because I put him in the toilet and closed it. And people walked in, alerted all the guards, because his foot was sticking through the door. So, yeah, that room was not developed particularly well. But it is possible to get that guy in there and get his disguise. It's just bloody difficult. But a great game. Excellent game. I love Blood Money. My potential purchases this week, nothing. There's not really anything I see here that I need to buy, or that I'm even interested in buying at the prices they're offering. We've got some new games here. So, a surprise to me, this first one. Jackbox Party Pack 6. Felt like not that long ago that Party Pack 5 came out.
Yeah, they're really going through them. I mean, I guess, hey, if they're popular and they're selling, I guess people want more content. But, man, that is quite a bit.
I'm just going to quickly look up when Jackbox Party Pack 5 came out. Wow, okay, it's a year ago tomorrow when you're listening to this. So,
okay, so they're just releasing one a year, I guess? It's the yearly release?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, well, I guess that's fair enough then. And this game here, Return of the Obra Dinn, or Obra Dinn, what's that all about?
Yeah. So Return of the Obra Dinn was a game that was in early access on Steam for quite a while. It came out a few months back. Almost a year ago, actually, now, come to think of it, because I think it was in some Games of the Year discussion last year. It is a mystery. It's kind of a mystery game. Similar, you were talking about the Invisible Hours.
Yeah.
Same similar vein, where it's not so much that you're watching a story, but you're walking around a boat trying to. You have the ledger of everyone who's on the boat, and all these people are missing. And you're an insurance person trying to figure out what happened to all these people. So for example, you know that the captain is. He's from this country, and this is his name, and that's pretty much all you know. So you go into an area, and suddenly you hear a voice, and you see a split image of like a freeze frame of something happening, some horrible thing that's happened, and it's usually got someone dying in it. And so, like for example, the first one is you see the captain being killed, but you need to try and find. And so you can look at the captain and say, okay, I can see him. He was killed by a sword, he was stabbed by someone, so you put that in the book as this is how he died. Then you see someone else with him who's also died, but you don't know who they are, so you need to try and pick clues and make notes about who this person might be, where they are, and so you have your book of people, and you say, okay, it might be one of these people, but I'm going to go further in the game and try and get through and go to more of these areas to try and piece the clues together about what sort of tragedy befell this ship that killed everybody on board. It's not like an action game or anything like that. It's more just trying to put the pieces together, and it's very muted, but it's got a lot. It seems to have a lot of Cthulhu-esque, because it definitely seems like something supernatural happened to these people, something really, really awful. So I'm probably going to pick this up when it comes out, because I heard nothing but great things about it. But it is one of those you play it once and you figured it out sort of thing. So there isn't a lot of replay value. I'm really hoping it ends up on Game Pass or something like that. It would be a really good get for it.
Not like The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, which has like 4 or 5 different endings.
Yeah, exactly. But that's sort of, and yeah, that is a bit more variable. Where this is more just it gives you that dopamine hit, because you click up, you write off the list. You're like, hey, hang on, I recognize this person in this scene. The person said this name, and I saw him die in another scene, so I know who he is, and I'll tick him off, and I'll say, okay, he was in this location, and he was killed by this. He was killed by stabbing, or by, they give you an option of things you could be killed by, and I think some of them include shark attack, or tentacle, or all kinds of stuff.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
I had a look at the other two. Well, Jackbox 4 and Jackbox 3 came 20 October 2017 and 21 October 2016. So I guess October is their yearly kind of review schedule. All right. I'm not really sure. Maybe Kirby's got some knobs and discos he wants to share with us, but probably not. But we did have Isaac write in a question to us here. So Isaac says, I've downloaded the new Call of Duty game on mobile, and surprisingly it plays really good. I somewhat feel like I should be playing something that will get me achievements instead, but sometimes it's nice to have fun and not worry about it. So do you guys have any games that you play not for achievements, whether on Xbox or somewhere else? I remember Tarragon mentioning he's been playing a lot more board games lately, so I guess those count as well. Thanks for taking my question, as always. I'm not sure if had you seen that Isaac wrote in before? Yep.
Yeah, I had a bit of a look.
Are there any games that you play not for achievements?
It is really hard. I mean, Neverwinter at this point is almost not for achievements, because they're so rare and hard to get that it's like I'm playing, almost playing for fun at this stage. I mean, if I have all the achievements, I wouldn't play any more of it, so I guess that doesn't count.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I guess we play Secret Hitler.
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually. So when I was at PAX, I actually picked up a copy of Secret Hitler.
Oh, you did get it?
Yes, I found a copy. It was ridiculously overpriced, but it is what it is.
What did they ask for it?
About $80.
Okay, I don't know why I had $80 in my head. When you said overpriced, I'm like, it was probably about $80. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 80 Australian. So, but yes, because I really enjoy playing that with you guys, and it's been a great thing for the community. And obviously, no achievements for that, but it is like those kinds of. I think board games are really where, and I would agree with Tarragon, is this kind of things where I quite enjoy getting away from the achievement stuff. I mean, now that I'm at that, 1.2 million was one of my goals for this year, and now that I've hit that, I feel like I can relax a little bit. Saying that, I am playing a bunch of visual novels, but that is almost for fun. I don't know. But I think board games is more what I do. I don't really play a lot. I just don't have the time, Like I'm with Isaac. Like I feel guilty not earning achievements when I could be a lot of the time when I'm playing something pointless, which drives Alison insane whenever I wanted her to play something with me. She's always like, "You don't play games correctly." I said, "No, you don't play games correctly."
Yeah, I remember talking to her about the game she played, and I'm like, "Have you got all the achievements in was it Dragon Age 2? Yeah. And she was like, I don't know. And you were like, no, she doesn't. I remember that. Well, Kirby actually wrote a comment on this. He said he plays Rocket League, some Switch titles. And he still plays Realm Royale for fun. I've got to agree with him on Rocket League, because Rocket League's really the only thing that I continue to play not for achievements, because I don't play mobile games, I don't have other consoles, and I don't play games on PC. But thinking about what you were saying about Secret Hitler there, I do play some board games. We have quite a few board games in our house, not, like these new school kind of cool board games out, but like Scattergories and, I can't think of the other games. We've got quite a few.
You got Battleship, Risk, Monopoly.
Yeah, like some of those older style games, yeah. But we actually, in Nicole's family and the friendship groups, like the family friends, they have a big group chat on Facebook, and they try and have a games night like every month or every 2 months. Last one that I went to, actually, Nicole did a whole PowerPoint presentation of trivia. Like, she wrote one. There was like, what games does Alex play on Xbox? What is Leanne's favorite food? What, like there was a round, that round was about a question or two about each person. But then there was like music questions and, movies and all that kind of stuff. So that was actually really popular. We all had a really good night. We get together and have lunch and dinner and play some board games or have some trivia. So that's probably about the closest I get to it off the console.
I think, an interesting thing about that, for me in particular, is that gaming for me is quite a solo thing for the most part. Like, it's quite a solitary thing that I enjoy playing video games, not just for achievements, but I'm not, like Chin would probably agree with me, is that not really a big multiplayer person. So when I do play multiplayer stuff, I don't really want to do it for achievements. So if I am going to play multiplayer, I will mostly just do that for fun. And I think that's where the board game sort of stuff in, or just hanging out. And I played something recently where I was just like something like Crackdown, for example, was a great example of that, where I was helping out Cameron Shadowless Edge with some of his orbs that he needed for his one. And it was like, well, you know what? I've done the game, but I've got a super powered up agent. I'm happy to jump around. We'll just talk a bunch and have a good time and help him out whatever I can. I'm not getting anything out of it, but I don't really need to, because it's just kind of a fun social experience, which I guess is the difference for me.
Yeah. I guess when you say you're not getting anything out of it, you mean achievements, because you get, the enjoyment of helping him and having a chat with him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, Isaac, I guess we'll see you next week with a new question, mate. Question leader at the moment. But we've got the milestones at the moment, so I might just put a little enter in here, and I'll do the top ones and you do the bottom ones. So our Ben L72 is now in the top 100 True Achievement leaderboard for Metroidvania. There was someone else that went up pretty high in Metroidvania last week, wasn't it? Was it Philip Wendell?
Yeah, it seems to be I think it was Philip. Yeah, it seems like it's quite a popular genre.
Metroidvania. I actually really like Metroidvanias, and I've not played enough of them. I reckon I've played the one that's in the sea. God, what's it called?
Axiom Verge?
The girl that's got the little submarine. She's trying to find her dad. Song of the Deep. Song of the Deep. That's what it's called. Yep. That one and Dust and Elysian Tale. I reckon that's
great games.
Excellent games, but I can't think of any others that I've played, and I really, really enjoy them. Anyway, top 100 True Achievement leaderboard for Metroidvania. Good stuff. Philip Wendell, 9,000 achievements won. Planting 42, 30,000 achievements won. Jesus. And Clowntastic, 700 True Achievements. 700,000 True Achievement score. They said 700 True Achievement score.
Yeah, close
That's just
enough,
an average day, isn't it?
It's a couple of numbers missing. It's fine. Yeah. Crunchflake reached 100 completed games. Reset 42 has reached 150,000 Gamerscore. Jimbot UK has reached a new milestone of 21,000 achievements won. And Salzbar?
Yeah.
Salzbar has reached a new milestone of 300,000 Gamerscore.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I remember 300. That was good times. I'm actually less than 1,500 points away from 400,000. And I don't actually know what I'm going to do for 400,000 still. Mate.
Got to make sure you hit it on the dot, though, right?
Yeah. I know whatever I do, I'll do that. Well, if I don't do that, it doesn't count.
No, exactly. Got to do it again.
You know what I was actually thinking? To celebrate getting 400,000, I might get to 410,000 in a day.
That's that's a real fun thing to do as well. It's kind of why I did the visual novel thing. Is that I hit that 1.2, and I'm just going, all right, now I'm just going to blast it with a bunch of easy games that I don't really care about.
So, what's your gamer score sitting at the moment?
Let's have a look. I am sitting at 1.2,005,590.
I was just thinking it's kind of a milestone, 1.21, 1.2 gigawatts.
Yeah, what 1.21? Yeah, once I hit that, for sure.
Yeah.
A little bit to go
Then
for
you
that.
can retire.
Another 5,000. Yeah, I'm done. I go back to the future and stop myself getting into Gamerscore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. I guess if anyone has a suggestion for an achievement I should hit 400,000 on the dot with, let me know maybe as soon as this comes out, because I've been trying not to go over, but I'm getting, 398,610. So I'm 1,390 away.
It's not a
and
lot.
I'm looking at these, all these 1 to 2 hour games on my console, thinking, I could just play this. Like, no, I can't, because I'll go over 400,000, so I can't do that. So if you have a suggestion, maybe get in touch with me now and let me know what you think I should do. All right, well, that's the end of episode 63. Geez, we run a tight ship together, don't we?
No, it's funny actually. I'm not saying that Chin wastes a bunch of time on the podcast and drags things out ridiculously and always goes on massive tangents. I'm just saying that when it's just you and I, we tend to actually get through these things pretty quickly and efficiently.
I'm not saying that either, but I can't disagree with points you've raised there, Matt. All right, well, if you want to get in touch with us, you can send an email it'll come to the three of us. That goes to hello@realgamerscore.com. You can find our Twitter page at realgamerscore. Cameron's been on that, sending that fire. Got those memes happening, got the fun stuff happening on there. That's at Real Gamerscore. Once again, the Discord link to join, discord.io/realgamerscore, and you can find our Patreon page at patreon.com/realgamerscore. Just like Isaac has, you can write in questions to the show, and we'll get to them in the next episode. And if you're interested in being in the show, get in touch with me, let me know. You never know when you might come up with an opportunity. You can help out the show by subscribing on iTunes and the other platforms you listen on. You can leave us a review, tell your friends about us, retweet us and like us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube and Patreon if you desire. Neo, if someone wants to get in touch with you, are they allowed to this week?
Absolutely not. Do not ever speak to me or my family. And in fact, if you even think about the only time, I was only taking questions at PAX. If you weren't at PAX, you missed out. Try again next year. But I guess if you do have an emergency, or you're a Nigerian prince who needs to send me some money, you can find me at Neomaster on Neomaster 2005 on Twitter, Neomaster on True Achievements, Xbox, and on Discord.
Is Neomaster taken on Twitter?
Unfortunately, yes. It's taken in a lot of places.
Damn. What is Neomaster? What is a Neomaster?
I'll let you know when I figure it out.
Okay, all right. Why are all these other people taking it? Idiots.
No idea.
All right. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on Twitter, Xbox, True Achievements, and Mixer. It's ProfessorPluto, and on Twitch, ProfessorPluto1. All right, end of episode 63. Thanks, everyone, for your time, taking it out of your day to listen with us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you in episode 64. Thanks for listening.
Peace out.